Hey, folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the 31st of January, 2014 with a podcast. I'm not live today until 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right there on the Views Expressed Live. Yes. There's a couple of things I want to put out here. Two things, actually. I want to make sure that people understand who's listening to me for the first time. I want people to understand that I am nonpartisan. Neither of the parties know what the hell they're doing. They never have. They never will. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's just the bottom line. They don't know what's going on. They never have, and they never will. Now, as you can hear all those little noises. So anyway, I want people to know that I'm nonpartisan. What does that mean? That I'm independent? That I'm libertarian? No. Nonpartisan. I don't like any of the parties because there's good and bad in all of them, and I understand that. But with this, with this paradigm of people believing that we have a semblance of choice between two parties, I can tell you right now, that's a bunch of crap. Okay? It's all a lie. It always has been a lie, and it always will be a lie. I mean, that's just the way it is. No one's ever going to literally accept the fact that we don't have political parties in this country, that it's just a facade, that it's just, a charade that they go through when they, every 2 to 4 years, when they, roll out these candidates. No one's ever going to realize that. No one's ever going to understand that. Because the state-run media and the propaganda being spewed out from their gullets, from their, mentally deranged and diseased minds, they're never going to understand any of it, okay? Because what they're going to do is they're going to give you what their script tells you to give you. You hear it all the time. You hear people say, well, why don't they say what I want to hear? Well, they are. Well, they need to tell me the truth. They don't know the truth. And that's the problem. They've been so buffaloed by the system for so long that all of the lies that they've been told they believe are true. Not that they're lies, but that they're facts. This is how it goes. And no. Tell a lie long enough, and after a while, you'll begin to believe it's true. So, the bottom line is, folks, this show is unlike any other alternative media show. This show is the Views Expressed Live and the Wayne S. Pierce Show. That would be me, Wayne S. Pierce. How are you? I share with you the facts, and I give it to you in ways that I would hope you understand. Now it's, how can I put this in a way that won't piss too many people off? Oh, well, let me just put it to you this way, and I'll be totally transparent and honest with people. If people are too stupid to believe that we have a choice or have that semblance of choice of parties and choices of what we want to vote on and all this, what's on the ballot and all that, you're too stupid. And you don't need to be part of any system whatsoever that would ever be able to function in a proper way under the rule of law of a Constitution and a Bill of Rights. Okay? And I say that knowing full well that there are people out there who are smart, they're intelligent, they understand, but they don't want to accept. They don't want to accept the charade, the facades. They don't want to accept anything other than what they hear on their state-run media, cable stations, and network stations. Okay? So there's that whole issue to deal with. There's that whole issue to bring to the forefront of everything that is going on. Now, I forego this. I usually take a break at the 5 after mark, but I'm going to forego that this time because I want to make my point and I want to give you a few more things to think about. We live in a system that is structured in such a way to where it suppresses everybody and everybody's God-given rights. Now, don't tell me that we don't, because you can look around and see the state of New York and the state of California fully and completely have been sold out and given to the New World Order. Okay, so I talk about that on my show too. The New World Order, the Bilderberg groups, all that, you know. CFR, Trilateral Commission. The other thing that I talk about is I talk about this. You are being so buffaloed into believing all the lies that now going through the system as you do, and I know this because I've been there, you begin to believe what they're telling you. And here's my point in B side. The state-run propaganda media is completely and utterly lying to you, and they are wrong in every single thing they talk about. I don't hear them bringing up Bilderberg meeting. I don't hear them bringing up fluoride in the water. I don't hear them, talking about anything that is of substance and that matters to most people. All they care about is, Justin Bieber might be, exiled. He might be deported out of America. Things like that. People are more concerned about that and Duck Dynasty and all this, that, and the other thing. They don't really give a crap about the Pacific Ocean being completely and utterly dead because of the radiation. Of course, over time it's a recycle thing, of course, and the ocean takes care of itself. But this is really killing every single piece of life in the Pacific Ocean. They're not going to tell you that let me put it to you this way. They're not going to scare the hell out of you by telling you that Daiichi nuclear plant number 3 has completely and utterly melted down and the core is going into the ground and may hit the water table and explode. They're not going to tell you any of that. They're not going to tell you that over by Monterey or up in California over there, there's a nuclear plant up there in Northern California. There's one in Southern California. They're not going to tell you any of that it could be unsafe. They're not going to give you alternatives to anything. They're just going to spew out their bull crap that they're reading off a script. Of course, you can see that they're reading out of a teleprompter, so obviously there's a script. They're not going to tell you any of that. They're not going to tell you that George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush were all part of Skull and Bones, and they're not going to tell you the connections that they have with the Clintons, and they're not going to tell you the Bushes have connections with the Bin Ladens, and they're not going to tell you any of this. The alternative media, which I am a part of, tells you what's behind the scenes, tells you what's going on, tells you how things are, I rip away the veil and show you who's pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. And that's just the way it is. And let me give you a little something here, a little example, just a little illustration as to how I know that there are people out there that will not ever accept anything that is outside of the realm of the propaganda being spewed from the state-run media. Let me give you an illustration. I thought about this earlier. Here, you and I are standing in a room, in a showroom where there's a car, and we're both looking at this red Lamborghini. We know it's a Lamborghini because of the little icon on the car and the name on the car. We know it's a red Lamborghini. We know this. It's there, in front of you, in front of us. But you say, oh, it's not red, it's more maroon, or it's more cyan, or it's more crimson, or it's... Is it a red color or a red hue of a color? Well, yeah, then it's a red Lamborghini. You could talk about the engine. You can talk about how spacious it is on the inside. You can, do all this. We can talk for hours about this red Lamborghini. We both see the same thing with our eyes. We know what that is. We see it. But you're going to come up with some other things that I may not know, and I'm going to come up with some things that you may not know. I'm okay with that. But it's when you present a totally different interpretation of what you're viewing. It is you who's going to come up with a different interpretation of what your perception is from your perspective. Am I getting through to anybody out there? Your perspective. Let me give you another little illustration. Your perspective is you stand in a room at attention. You don't move your eyes. You don't move your head. You don't move around. You don't look around. You don't do anything. You stare straight ahead. Some of you in the military know exactly what I'm talking about. That is your perspective. Your perception is what you see. Your perceptics are, showing you, the things that you see straight ahead. You may be looking at this little dot on the wall, but your peripheral is seeing other things. Your perception is in your peripherals skewed by certain things. Your focus is straight ahead. That is your perspective and perception. What you interpret is how your mind is trying to compare and correlate everything together in a more understandable way. That is how you interpret what it is you're looking at. Okay? Perspective, perception, interpretation. We're both looking at the same red Lamborghini. Why is it you interpret it differently? Why is it when I look out and tell you that 911 2001 was an inside job and I can prove it to you, why is it you're going to look at it and interpret it a different way? Why? You don't have the truth. You don't have the facts. And you haven't spent 10 years looking deep into all of it. I've been looking into governmental cover-ups and everything else for the last 35 years. So there's nothing that you can tell me that I haven't already heard or investigated or researched. And if there is something new, bring it to the table. But I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to show me, how you're going to show it to me, and I know exactly how you're going to present your evidence, so-called evidence. And literally, it's pointless. On this show, on the Wayne S. Pierce Show and the Views Expressed Live, I tell you exactly what's going on. I read you articles. I tell you who the articles are by. I show you where the articles are from. That would hopefully give you the opportunity to go look at it yourself. But I give you my opinions on it. I give you my views on it, which is real simple, considering that we all have our different opinions on things. So someone may say to me, well, if I can't tell you something that you don't already know, then what's the point of me even having a discussion with you? I've had someone tell me something similar to that, and I said, you're absolutely right. Have a nice day. Because I wasn't going to sit there and waste my time discussing things with somebody who believes the state-run media and the lies and the propaganda and the charades that they are committing in front of the camera. I'm not going to sit there and waste my time with those people. I'm not. So this show is straight up, in your face, sharing the truth one fact at a time. And I will tell you this, that if I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know. And if I didn't see everything and only give you a little bit, I'm going to go take a look at some more and say, you know what? I overlooked something, and here's what I overlooked. I'm going to do that. Why? I don't see any of the state-run media doing that. I don't see them coming back and apologizing. Oop, wait, MSNBC had to apologize. I don't see the state-run media giving you the whole story. I only see them giving you what they're told to give you. Me, I'm going to tell you what you want to know. Was 9/11 an inside job? Was Benghazi covered up? Was Tsarnaev brothers set up Boston bombing? Are there cover-ups that the government is committing? Yes. I'm going to tell you what my views are on that. I will present to you the evidence that I have. You figure out the rest. You know, it's real simple. So that's what this show is about. Getting in your face, showing you what there is, and hopefully, my hope is that you go out and do the research on your own to figure it out on your own. And if you find more information that I didn't cover or that I overlooked, I would like you to present that to me. And you can. I don't have a problem with that. Go ahead, send that to me. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I just really believe passionately that we need to get the truth out there one fact at a time, one piece of information at a time, and it has to be that way. It has to be that way. Your state-run media, your propaganda machines out there, the arm of the, of the New World Order, of the, federal government. You've got the branches of the federal government, the legislative, executive, and judicial. Now, you have the press arm of all of that. That's called the press corps. You have the press branch of the government that spews out all this propaganda. And the Supreme Court said they can do that. Now, it used to be against the law to spread false stories and propaganda to the general public. But now the Supreme Court, and you can go look this up, said it's okay. Go ahead. It's propaganda. Oh, yeah. What? Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead and do it. So I don't know, folks. We can do whatever we want. We can see whatever we want. We can be whoever we want. But let's be honest with ourselves. Let's do the right thing and see it for what it is. What is reality? The foundation of reality is based on many concepts. Each person perceives reality differently. In the book, The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman, they explore the hidden infrastructure of reality. Get your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman.
Sarasota's home for R&B and soul. The Razor Blade Express with Dave the Rave.
Hey folks, how you doing? I'm back. This is the podcast for the 31st of January 2014. I am Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. How are ya? Hope you're doing good, because it's, the last day of January already. My God, where did the month go? It just seems like it's flying by, doesn't it? Jeez. Wasn't it just yesterday I graduated high school? I mean, seriously. How do we see things, folks? Do we see reality for what it is? Do we? I mean, I'm, kind of curious now. I'm kind of curious. I mean, it makes me wonder. It should make you wonder. I mean, how do we see these things? How do we see these things? Is it something that is it something that we overlook at times and say, well, that's not really the way that it is. Right? Is it? Because, I'd like to know, do we live in a false... Well, I know this. We do live in a false sense of security. That's for sure. Okay? We see it. It's there. But do we live in a reality that we can say, for us, is real?
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? And it was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. So the perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from. Which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization.
Yeah, folks, so what is it all about? You know what I mean? I have looked at several areas. I have examined many of these areas of so-called reality. I have talked to shamans. I have talked to American Indians. I have talked to, esoteric people. In other words, different earth-related religions, Wicca and all that, I've talked to a lot of people, and I can tell you now that they're more right than most people. I'll give you a prime example. A prime example. Many, many years ago, I was talking to someone who related to me a story about when they were growing up and when they were kids, when they were, 4, 5, 6 years old, and they lived in what they would consider a haunted house. And they saw, a man, and, they told their mother and everything, hey, I saw this is what's going on. And the mom's like, ghosts don't exist, blah, 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 blah. and all of that. And as they got older, and I've heard stories like this before, as they got older and as their parents got older, they realized that certain elements that they once, certain elements in life that happened to them were now buried deep inside of them. And this one person related to me many years later, their mother wound up sick, went to the hospital, and they were still, young, but by that time they were married and had a child of their own. And this person related to me that they saw at night, they woke up, saw that this person saw their mother standing at the foot of their bed, waving, smiling, and all that, and then just disappeared. And they called and found out at that very specific time at night, their mother had passed away. And things like that happen all the time. Now, could we say that that's reality? Can we say that there is something beyond our perception? Remember that word I used earlier? Is there something beyond our perception that we would consider to be unreal or outside the norm of what we would consider real? There's that whole deep philosophical thing, that goes on. And what we see out here now, with all the false flag events causing us to get into wars and occupy other countries to steal their resources, as we see false flag events causing buildings to explode and be dust before hitting the ground, false flag events from, federal buildings being blown up and people being connected in some way, shape, or form, and, all this and anything. When we see all of this, it is so it is so unreal to us that we've put it into the realm of the unreal because, number one, we don't want to accept it. Okay? We don't want to accept it. And that's one of the reasons why it's one of the reasons why people tell me, well, you're one of those conspiracy theory kooks. Really? How about looking at the possibilities of what is unreal? Or look at the possibilities that you can't accept anything that is outside of your realm of what you consider real. Nobody wants to do that. Number two, we have to look at these things and examine these things for what they are. That's point right there. If you feel that it's unreal, that you can't grasp it or wrap your mind around it, wouldn't you want to question its existence? To try to find some understanding of what it is? I know I do. I've done that for 35 years, 36 years. But then again, here's the operative little, it's not even hidden. I was going to say hidden element, but it's not even hidden. It's right out there in front of people's faces. And it's always an option that people go to. And that is, I will not accept anything other than what I see. In other words, that's a long way of saying, I won't believe it unless I see it. Well, folks, since I was 8 years old and since I've been also researching a lot of other things as well, I believe because I see. Okay? I see far beyond into the unreal. I see far beyond into the esoteric. I see far beyond somebody else's interpretation of what I'm looking at as well. So earlier, before the break, when I said there's nothing that anybody can tell me that I don't already know, I mean that. I'm not saying that as being arrogant or conceited or smart or... No. I know all the little things that people are going to do to try to convince me otherwise. I know all of it. You know why? Because I was a skeptic too at one point, and I questioned everything to do one thing: debunk everything that everybody ever said was real. I had an experience in my life that caused me to think twice about that purpose that I thought I had in my life. And guess what? I can look at all the people that want to debunk me or Alex Jones or Glenn Beck or anything, or debunk 9/11 or whatever, and I can tell you that you are the dumbest people on the face of this planet. Dumb in the sense that you're not seeing the possibilities. You're not seeing beyond the realm of what you would interpret to be real. Remember interpretation? Think about that one. So I didn't really want to get on this much, but this segment I will. Facts are facts, people. 2 + 2 = 4, unless you've learned everything under common, or I should say communist core. Then 2 + 2 is blue, or something like that. So when you look at the facts, 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, 3 + 3 is 6. I mean, we can go on from there. When you examine all of these things for what they are, there should be no doubt in your mind this is what it is. And if you're going to sit there and continue to believe your state-run media propaganda, then have a nice day and enjoy your beer. I've talked to sociology professors. I've talked to psychologists who were working at one of the community colleges or working at the community college in Stockton, California. Not on a professional basis. I wasn't there for me. I was there to ask questions and get their take on things. I've asked store owners. I've asked truck drivers. I've asked doctors. I've talked to different people growing up in Stockton, California, and doing my research, what they thought about certain things. And there was a twofold reason for that. One, I wanted to see their point of view. I wanted to see how they saw things. Plus, number 2, it helped me determine what I believed. And remember what I said? If you can't grasp something or can't wrap your mind around something, that should give you right there the opportunity to ask more questions. Not sit there and criticize somebody for something you don't understand. It's that simple. But again, let's roll it back to this one simple little element that's in front of your face that people always seem to have right there in front of them, and they always think it's an option. And that is, you don't want to believe. You don't want to accept. You don't want to believe. You don't want to know. You don't care to know. You don't have to know when somebody's telling you, look at this. It's that want. It's that want. I want to know. I want to see. I want to have. It's that want. I don't want to know. I don't want to see. I don't want to have. Leave me alone. I've had somebody tell me that too. Leave me alone. I just want to live my life my way. Really? So you don't care about the radiation that's coming in from Fukushima. You don't care about, so many people being killed on 9/11/2001. You don't care about the cover-up of Benghazi 9/11/2012. You don't care about all that, do you? I have gone. I have friends of mine in California, and I've gone into their homes, and I've talked to them and hung out with them and everything, and I found out one thing. And I know I'm going to piss off a lot of people when I say this, but I don't care. George Orwell, a.k.a. Eric Blair, MI5, British intelligence. He was also probably not only a double agent, he was probably a triple agent working for Russia. I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. George Orwell, 1984. George Orwell was right. He wrote that book in 1948, and the people that knew him very closely, knew what he believed, looked at him and said, I think you need to change the title of that book. George Orwell was right. Think about it, folks. We have surveillance all over the place. You're distracted by entertainment and sports. You don't give a crap about anything else other than your own life. But your life does affect other people, and other people do affect your life, and other elements and situations and circumstances affect your life. So why don't you wake up, accept the facts, and move out from there? When you're in good company, because 75 to 80% of Americans know for a fact that we now live in a tyranny under a dictator, period, end of sentence. Okay? I don't know too many people that would disagree with that. But I know a lot of you liberals out there that hang around the center saying, yeah, I'm okay with this, and I'm more centrist than I am anything else. When you identify yourself, number one, as a liberal, number two, as a centrist, guess what? You're a freaking liberal. Shut the hell up and go away and cater to your own little delusional world, because you are a liberal. And I'm not talking the liberal in terms of wanting less government and more freedoms. No. You're a liberal in the sense that you would rather want the UN to control the United States. You would want the Council on Foreign Relations to be the overseers of everything. You want the Trilateral Commission to be the end all and of all laws in the world. In other words, your new world order, period, end of sentence. Classify yourself as a liberal, but secondly, make your, say that you're a centrist. You're a freaking New World Order minion. That's just the way it is. Always has been, always will be. I know people who are libertarians that want less government, more freedom, and say that, and do say this, that when they're in the middle, they are in the middle. They don't want people to bother them, and they won't bother anybody else. They understand all these little hot button issues, and they're okay with that. But you liberals out there who say you're centrists are nothing more than filled with that state-run media propaganda, and you're nothing more than New World Order minions, period. How can I say that? Because I know quite a few. Trust me. And it's all right out in front of your face. And you don't really care. George Carlin said it perfectly before he passed away. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. You're one of those little New World Order minions that are liberal centrists. They're going to chew you up and spit you out if you don't get with their program of New World Order policies. And if you would rather want socialism and communism and all this, that, and the other thing, well, I'm sure Russia, China, and Mexico would love your citizenship. I really do. So on that note, why don't you pack your bags and leave? Get your morning started with the Morning Brew on 92.6 The Blitz. Music from the 60s, 70s, and more. The Blitz 92.6. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com. With her unique, fast-paced, witty sarcasm, Angel Clark brings you the news of the day with a creative twist. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern on radiofreedom.us. You can also listen to her live on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm. Hey folks, this is the podcast for 31st of January 2014. How you doing? How you doing, folks? Yeah, the end of January. This is the starting point of the midterm elections, which don't really matter because they have already got their people picked out. Oh yeah, you didn't think so? Oh yeah. Politics is a fun game to play, isn't it? And by the way, when did your liberties and freedoms become political? Because, I'd like to know. I'm kind of curious. I'd like to know. When did they become political? I'm curious. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Nick Tucker over at Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook and also distortedreality.podbean.com. Also want to give a big old shout out to Mr. Bob Brutus over at wakingupthemasses.com. wakingupthemasses.com. By the way, you can hear the views expressed live in that area, in the Chickamauga, Georgia area, on AM 1650 micro broadcasting in that area. So, yes, the views expressed live Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com, freeamericaradio.us, and also you can probably hear the replay over on radiokahuna.com. But anyway, you can email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. That's freeamericaradio@usa.com. Go to freeamericaradio.us and donate to help Free America Radio Network get to the next level. We've got plans, folks. I'm moving this network one step up, and I'm going to need your help. So if you can donate, please do. If not, hey, sit back, listen, and enjoy. And do your research, because you don't have to believe me or anybody else. You need to go check it out yourself. What is true for you is true for you. But I'm just trying to reveal to you exactly what is out there. There's a walnut tree sitting out there, and that's a walnut tree. It's not any other tree, it's a walnut tree. But if you're telling me it's something else, then you got the problem, because I know it's a walnut tree. I'm just saying, folks. Just putting it out there. You can, do whatever it is you need to do. So anyway, yeah, freeamericaradio.us. Check out the sponsors page. You can also go to the front page there at freeamericaradio.us and just scroll on down. You'll see a way where you can donate to get Free America Radio Network to the next level. Tomorrow, yeah. What's going to happen tomorrow? Well, tomorrow's Saturday, by the way. So, no show tomorrow. I'm here Monday through Friday. Actually, I'm on Views Expressed Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. The Wayne S. Pierce Show is going to change as of next week. So, instead of hearing me live for a few weeks or so, you just might hear these podcasts pre-recorded. not live. But if you have any questions, no question is off limits. Ask me anything you like. If I don't know something, I'll tell you I don't know. Free America Radio at USA.com. Free America Radio at USA.com. Hold on to that email address because as of Monday, that's going to change. But hold on to that email address as a backup. I'll tell you what it is on Monday coming up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show. Noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. And also, I'll tell you again on the Views Expressed, Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Lots of things going on. There's also a store over at freeamericaradio.us. Go there and purchase some items and help Free America Radio get to the next level as well. Hey, folks, what can I say? What can I say? Is there more to say? Yes, there is. This is a day. Anyway, I won't go into my impressions. I will hold them to myself. Oh my God. White powder scares reported at 5 hotels. Neat MetLife. I don't know who wrote this. New York Daily News, of course. They don't know how to write. I guess they got the white powder. You know what I'm saying? Missing Ukraine activist says he was tortured. Human body parts found in garbage bags on Michigan Highway. Ooh. United Nations taps Bloomberg as cities and climate change rep. Can you say dictator? I certainly can. White House combats cruel catch-22 for long term. That's NBC News, folks. Let's check that one out, shall we? Give you a little preview of what's coming up on the Views Express Live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, as soon as my cell phone wants to cooperate. So, anyway. Sorry for the silence. I was reading a text message. Yeah, go talk amongst yourself, shall you? Anyway, it's one of those mornings. Have you ever... Oh. I forgot to ask this at the beginning of the first hour in the first segment. Have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up and you go to the bathroom, do all, whatever you got to do, and then you walk to the kitchen and you're standing there going, I'm here in the kitchen... I'm getting my coffee, and what the hell am I doing? Have you ever had one of those mornings, your words just don't come out right. You just, somebody says good morning to you, and you sit there going, I will say, Bubba. It's like incoherent stuff. Have you had one of those mornings? Because I had that this morning. I was wondering, do I need to go and... find out, what's going on inside my head. I don't know. But, yeah, I've had one of those mornings, folks. It's okay. I'm here, though. And I laugh about it. It's absurd. It's called not having my coffee. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Go to NBCpolitics.NBCnews.com. White House combats cruel catch-22 for long-term jobless. Carrie Dan over there at NBC News. Thank you, Carrie. President Barack Obama announced more federal initiatives Friday to help the unemployed caught in a cruel catch-22 of long-term joblessness. Quote, the longer you're unemployed, the more unemployable you may seem, unquote, Obama said, announcing a partnership with business executives who have set, quote, best principles, unquote, designed to keep employers from discriminating against the jobless, calling the reluctance of some employers to hire a qualified worker because he or she has been out of work for many months as a cruel catch-22. Obama pushed back against critics who say long-term federal unemployment benefits de-incentivizes, there we go, a vigorous job search. In other words, getting paid to do nothing, sitting on your butt, for 99 weeks or 6 months or whatever. You're not giving me a reason to get up to go to work. You know what I mean? Quote, just because you've been out of work for a while does not mean that you're not a hard worker, unquote, he said. Quote, it just means that you had bad luck, or you were in the wrong industry, or you live in a region of the country that's catching up a little slower than others in the recovery, unquote. We are not in a recovery, folks. Just give you that piece of reality now. Obama said that participating businesses in the federal government will be more mindful of unfair barriers like spotty credit histories or gaps in unemployment that are preventing qualified job seekers from getting back into the workforce. Let me tell you right now, why the hell should an employer want to know your credit history? Okay? That's none of their business, period. Any of you employers out there, business owners or whatever, do you guys do that? Check credit history of potential employees? Why? Send me that answer. No, I'm serious. Send me that answer. Why do you do that? Send it to freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Continuing, Congress failed to pass an extension of the jobless benefits for about 1.3 million unemployed Americans last year. That's last year, folks. The unemployment in this country right now, the number is anywhere between 37.4 to 40%. Okay? It's way the hell up there. How can 1.3 million unemployed Americans equal, the almost 40% of the people? I think I'm wrong. It might be 27%. I'm not quite sure. I got to go look at my numbers again, but the numbers continue to go up every day. Go check it out yourself. Quote, getting people back on the job faster is one of our top priorities, unquote, Obama said. Quote, but I have to confess, last month Congress made that harder by letting unemployment insurance expire for more than 1 million people, unquote. In Nevada alone, it's over 25% unemployment right now. Friday's announcement is the latest in Obama's use of executive actions to bypass Congress that has stymied many of the White House's policy plans. Okay? And that's from NBCnews.com. I don't know why these... Okay, I'm not even going to ask that question, but I'll just make this statement. You're unemployed. Your unemployment ran out. What were you doing all that time? You know what I'm saying? What were you doing? Were you fishing? Were you doing something? No, here's how it should be. And this is what you and I, the Americans, should be doing right now to demand action from our politicians. And if they don't do it, we force them out of office come the midterm elections. Force them out of office. Here's what needs to happen. First of all, you're unemployed? Okay, do you think you're going to be unemployed for 6 months or more? I'm not sure. Here's an option for you. Do you want to start your own business? Well, that would be nice. Okay, here's several programs that we can offer you. Wouldn't that be great to hear one of the unemployment people, the employment development people in your area tell you that? I mean, look at it this way. The illegal aliens come over here from Mexico or wherever they come from, and they start their own businesses on the backs of the taxpayers. So why couldn't you and I? But why don't we do this one better? Why don't we, the United States citizens, get grants to start businesses? I've been, if somebody came to you and said, I've been unemployed for 8 months and wasn't showing any signs whatsoever of getting up off their ass and going and looking for a job or doing something, don't give them a dime. Okay, don't offer them anything. If that's all they wanted, don't know. If they show signs of wanting to start a business, or going to work, then you know what? Help those people out. Oh, let's do one more thing. You're unemployed for more than a year. You shouldn't have to pay one lick of tax whatsoever. If you get a unemployment, I've been there. Trust me, folks, I've been there. I've gotten the unemployment. And on the little thing that you fill out, it says, do you want federal, withholdings out of this? Well, yes, because you want money back at the end of the year, right? But if you don't put that on there, you're going to owe money at the end of the year. Well, how about this? Screw all that. If you're unemployed, you shouldn't have to pay taxes at all. People on Social Security disability don't. People on welfare don't. So why should you? You know what I'm saying? And then if you show signs or an interest to start your own business, then you should have all the opportunities and options available to you immediately when you file unemployment. Period. That's it. First of all, go for the grants. Free money, great. You don't have to pay it back. Nothing like that. Don't go to the Small Business Administration because they work for the New World Order. Don't do high interest rates. I've looked into it, folks. It's a major pain in the butt. If you can go for private grants, private work grants, whatever it is, then you go for that. I'd love to start my business. Do you know how hard it is to start a business here in Nevada? It's like pulling freaking teeth. You can't get it done because you got to jump through so many damn hoops. How about this for the unemployed that want to start their own business? Get rid of all the damn regulations. All you need to do, here's what you need to do. You walk in, you fill out an application. Okay, what's your business name? Okay, fictitious firm. Okay, unless your name is in it. If your name is in the business, you don't need a fictitious firm name. Just go look that up. Trust me, I've been through all this. So you do all that. Right? You just fill it out. There you go. Boom. They take whatever time they need to approve it. Boom, it's approved. You go into business. That shouldn't even take 2 weeks. But all these regulations in Nevada, suppresses anybody that wants to start their own business. And you got to have tons of money to even get into a place. I've looked around. I'm going to do a video here this coming weekend. Actually, there's part of a video up on Facebook in my video section up there where it shows me and Diana from Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. We're walking through this shopping plaza. It has physical buildings in it, and there's, of course, your strip mall type thing, your plaza. There are over 20 stores there. Guess what? There was only 10 active businesses in that plaza. We went to the other side of town, in South Reno, went to another plaza. There's one section of this plaza that literally has no stores in it. There's a building. When I got here in 2006 in Reno, Nevada, there was a building that was built down near Peppermill, now down near the casinos. For the last 7-8 years, it has been empty. And there's a sign on the front, the realtor sign. And it has been empty for 8 years. Oh, the economy's getting better. Whoever says that is lying through their ass. Show me what's going on in your area. Send those videos to freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. I'd like to know what's going on in your area. Come join me on the Views Express live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker or on freeamericaradio.us. This is January 31st, 2014. Talk to you later.